Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a crochet granny square. Now this is a super simple pattern, but please keep in mind that we all learn at our own pace. So at any time during this video, if you need to stop, pause, rewind, slow down, or fast forward through the video, feel free to do so at your leisure, as this video is just here to aid you and not frustrate you. So if you find yourself getting frustrated, please take a moment, take a step back, take a deep breath, and come back to it when you're ready to try again. Now, with that said, let's get started. You only technically need like 2 or 3 things for this project. A pair of scissors to end off your project, a hook. Now my hook for my yarn is calling for a 5.5, which is what I have here in my Furls crochet hook. And then some yarn, which I have the Premier Anti-Peeling Everyday Worsted Weight yarn in like a cream color. Okay? To get started, we are going to make a slip knot. So we're going to make a slip knot in our yarn. So we're going to make a little slip knot, just like that. Now, if you don't know how to crochet at all, and you don't know how to make a slip knot, let me show you. So you're going to pinch that tail end, which is the tail end is going to be the end with the end on it, obviously, and then the working end is going to be the end coming from the ball of yarn. So we're going to pinch that tail end. We're going to take our pointer finger and stick it underneath there. We're going to use the other 3 fingers on our hand that are free to grab the working yarn, so it makes a V shape like this. We're then going to take and make a circular motion with our finger. We're going to stick our thumb up through that hole right there where our pointer finger is. And don't worry, if it comes off, just put it further back behind your knuckle, and that will kind of keep it in place. You're going to stick your finger up through there. You're going to pinch that working yarn. So you're going to grab the working yarn, and then you're going to slide this hand down. When you do that, it's going to tighten up right there for your slip knot. There's your slip knot. Congratulations. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put your hook in, and you're going to pinch that tail to keep it out of your way. We're just going to hold it to keep it out of the way. And we're going to chain 4. Chaining 4 is super easy. You're just going to yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. We're going to do that 4 times in total. So that's 2, 3, 4. Okay? And you can count the little V's right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So for a granny square, what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet into this first chain that we made. So you see that hole right there in the first chain? We're going to go right in there. So to double crochet, you're going to yarn over. You're going to insert your hook into that stitch like this. We're going to yarn over again. We're just going to pull that last yarn over through the loop here on our chain. It's going to give us 3 loops on our hook, okay? And because this is a double crochet, you're going to yarn over. You're only going to pull through 2 of those loops. So 1, 2, to leave 2 more loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull through 2 more times. That's your first double crochet. Now we're going to do that 1 more time. So we're going to yarn over into that same spot to do our double crochet. And we have the first 3. So that chain 3 that you have from the chain is your first double crochet. Then you have your first double crochet that you made, and then the second one. Next, we're going to do a chain 2. So 1, 2, and that's going to make your corners for the turns. And you'll see it develop as we get to the last one. And then we're going to do 3 more double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, 3. Once you've done 3 of those, you're going to chain 2 again. 1, 2. We're going to keep repeating that till we have 4 of those. So we're going to do another chain or a double crochet here. We're in 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2 again. 1, 2. At this point, you should have 3. So 1, 2, and 3. You're going to have 2 corners on the side over here, and then you should have 3 clusters of 3 double crochets. So once you get to this point, you're going to do the 2 chains, and then we're going to do another cluster of 3 double crochets. So that's just 3 double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Now this is the part where a lot of people get stuck on this particular pattern because you're making that 4th corner appear. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Okay. You're going to go into the top of that chain 3 here. So that chain 3 is right here, and we started working our first couple of double crochets. You're going to go into the very top. So when I go to the very top, I'm just going to slip stitch. So I'm not going to have to yarn over or anything. I'm just going to slide the hook up under the stitch, and it's underneath. So notice how it's under both of them. Now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull that loop through. And then we're not going to yarn over again. We're just going to keep pulling it through. So it's like this. Okay. Then we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We are then going to kind of work backwards as you're going to work 2 more double crochets into this space here. So instead of going forward, you're kind of working in this space right here. So we're going to put 2 double crochets in here because your chain 2 counts as your first one. So we're just going to work 2 more double crochets into that space. So 1 and 2. And then it should look like this. Okay. Once you get to this spot, again, if you need to pause, stop, rewind, fast forward, take a break, feel free to do so. This video, again, is here for your leisure, and this is not a race. You do it at your own pace. Okay. So now we're going to chain 2. 1 and 2. Doing that, we're going to go into this corner right here. We're going to go and do our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Once you get those 3 double crochets in there, again, you guessed it, we're going to chain 2. But we're not going to leave that space just yet. We're going to do another cluster of 3 double crochets in that same space. That's going to form the next corner. So 1, 2, and 3. So you see how it's forming a corner right here? So this is where we started. That's forming your corner. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. And then we're going to go and do that exact same thing that we did in this corner, in this corner. So it's going to be chain, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in this same corner. So let's do it. So let's do 3 double crochets first. 1, 2, and 3. Once you get to this spot, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. And that chain 2 is, again, very important as it forms the next corner. So you don't want to forget those chain 2s. And then we're going to do 3 more double crochets into that same space. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. Excuse me. So next up, we're going to do our chain 2 again. 1, 2. And then we're going to do our 3 double crochets into the next corner space there. So 1, 2, 3. And before we leave, we're going to do a chain 2 and 3 more clusters into that same space. So 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. See how it's nicely forming those corners for us? Looks great. Keep going. Chain 2. 1, 2. Okay. Now we've reached the end and we've come to this little corner where we started at. And we're going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to do our chain 3, or I'm sorry, our 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And we're going to go again. We're going to slip stitch into this very first stitch right here. So we're going to go underneath this stitch. So if you're wondering where I'm going, it's right underneath the stitch there. We're going underneath both of those little loops right there so you can see both of them on top. We're going to yarn over, pull that through, and then we're going to pull it through again without yarning over to create our second round of our granny square. So this pattern is worked in rounds of 3, and I'll show you why. So we're on the third row of the granny square. So again, we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. We're going to do our 2 double crochets into this back one back here, because I know it seems confusing because you're right here, so you're going to want to go forward, but you're going to stay here and you're going to do 3 or 2 more double crochets into this space here. So we're just going to do 1 and 2. Now the reason why this is worked in 3s is because since we're on this row, there's another new space that's been introduced, this middle space. Now this middle space is really easy as you just do 3 double crochets in there. So don't forget your chain 2s, 1, 2, and we're just going to do 3 double crochets in there. Now the reason you're only doing 3 double crochets in this one and not any more than that is because this isn't a turning, this is just the middle, right? So just because it's the middle, you're not going to do what you would do on the corners because this isn't a corner. So you're going to do your 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 2, and now we're getting back to the corner. 1, 2. And then we are going to do our 3 double crochets in the corner, and we're going to form that corner with the 3 double crochets. Hold on a second, because I just noticed that my yarn is coming apart there. That happens sometimes with the yarn. Just make sure you got all the fibers on your hook when you're doing it. So we're going to double crochet in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to chain 2. This is a turning corner, so because it is a turning corner, you're going to do 3 more double crochets in that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. We're going to do our chain 2, and again, we're back to that middle section. So if you remember from this side, we're just going to do 3 double crochets in here. So 1, 2, and 3. Just pulling out some yarn here. Next up, we're going to do our 2 double, sorry, not 2 double, it's 2 chains. And then we're going to do our 3 double crochets into this corner stitch again, and we're going to make a corner again. So if you remember, the corners are made by 3 double crochets. Chain 2. And then 3 double crochets. 2, 3. Because again, you're trying to form the corner. So you see how it's coming together. So this is where we started. We formed a corner here. We just formed another corner right there. And we're just going to we're going to keep repeating this on over. Now, don't forget your chain 2s when you're going to the next space to double crochet in. So we're just going to do chain 2. And then 3 double crochets into this center space here. 1, 2, 3. 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into this side space here. So once you get your 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, and then do 3 more double crochets into this chain space, the same space from before, so that you're forming that corner. And then 3, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets into that center spot. 2, 3, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, and we're back to the beginning where we started. So we're going to do our 3 double crochets here, 2 and 3, and because we're back where we started, we're not going to make the corner like we did the other rows, because we already started it when we first started this round. So we're going to do our chain 2, 1 and 2, and then again to the very top of that first stitch there, you're going to go underneath it with your hook, yarn over, pull through again, and then that is the start of your granny square. Okay, now what you don't want to forget is your chain 2s. So again, you're going to chain 2 here, 3 double crochet to start, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Once you get to the corners, remember it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. That's what's going to form that corner. And then in these pieces on the side here, which they will multiply by the rows. So this first round had 1 space to do the 3 double crochet. The next round has 2 spaces. The next round after this is going to have 3, 4, and that's how your blanket is going to grow. Okay, so you just keep repeating that all the way around, and that is how you do a granny square. That was super easy, right? Exactly. Now, again, if at any time during this you need to stop, pause, rewind, fast forward, take a break, feel free to do so, as again, this video is here for you at your leisure, so you work on it however long you want to. You're going to keep repeating that pattern, which I will have the written pattern down in the description box of this video, so I don't have to write it all throughout here. You can look at it in the description box, and it's going to tell you how to complete each row for the first 3 rounds, as this is worked in rounds of 3. And now you see why, because as you get to that 3rd round, that's when the middle space is introduced for you to be able to make your blanket grow. So with that said, I hope this was at all helpful to you. If it was, please feel free to share this video with a friend. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video to let YouTube gods know that your girl's out here doing something right. With that said, I would like to thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, or if there's another stitch that you would like me to go into depth in, please leave that down in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But with that said, I must now bid you adieu. But not before reminding you that it's hard out here in these crafty streets. Please stay safe, and always remember to be kind to others, because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous, because it's the right thing to do, and always stay cool. And whether I see you in YouTube land or I see you on Twitch, either way, I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.